Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a good week. It is the Juicebox Heroes podcast. We have the full squad back in effect. Chris and Bryles are back from their vacation, but I'm one of your hosts, PK. We're the Dubon Fan Club president and Sweet Bee Bones Bryles, fellas. How was their vacation?
Man, I was just about to say, Bryles, it seems like I haven't seen you in so long. It was good. It was relaxing. Outside of me having to fight the elements of the river while having Logan on my lap. Yeah, man. I mean, I survived. He survived. But yeah, man, it's good to be back. I mean, of course, I go out of town and get out of any type of cell phone signal, and then of course Brice Matthews goes off. So that's kind of how it is. But Bryles, how's everything going since it's been so long since I've seen you last?
Good, man. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. We got to watch everybody have a complete yard sale at the waterfalls going down the Frio River, except for my daughter and the cooler tube. Those are the only two survivors. Everybody else waxed it. So, but anyway, no, it was a good time, good relaxing time off. Thanks again, PK, for holding it down. That was much appreciated. And anyway, yeah, we got to. I stayed up and watched some of these games, and it was a lot of fun. But I'm ready to get into this Arizona series and then talk about the A series coming up, man. And there's a lot to go into it.
Yeah, for sure. Look, that was my first episode to do solo. I was, trying to pull a Chris Moreno. I am not a fan of that. I will do it anyway, just because we need to keep doing it. But yeah, I appreciate it. It was, I'll say it was a little bit of fun, but a little bit hectic trying to get everything together and, backstage. So either way, we did it. But yeah, man, Broom's out in Arizona. We're going to touch on some highlights. We got one man crush we got to talk about from a certain person on our team. But yeah, Broom's out. Bryles, get that button ready. The Astros have taken their rightful place with the best record in the American League. Bryles.
Hey. There we go.
But really, so you're tied with Toronto and Detroit, but since you've won both those series this season, you have the tiebreaker over them. Look, man, before we get into the Astros, like Toronto's playing some damn good ball. Like some really good ball. And they're beating the Yankees lately too. They have Detroit now this weekend. But
they have. But then you can say the same for Detroit. Detroit's been playing fantastic. It's going to set up for a pretty interesting trade deadline, to be honest with you. I mean, you got a bunch of teams that I don't think really anybody had on their bingo cards. Maybe Detroit. Detroit didn't really surprise any people, from what we saw them do last season. But I think Toronto definitely wasn't on a lot of people's bingo cards as, holding down the AL East like they are. But it is what it is. I mean, yeah.
Well, they have a 3-game series starting this weekend, those two teams. So it should be good. So if you have MLB TV, I would tune into that just to see. But enough of that, enough of the East talk. Let's get into these Astros, man. Look, Monday, what's today? Thursday? So Monday, you had Colton Gordon going up against Zach Gallen. Right. Look, Colton Gordon, he only, I say only, he went 5 2/3, 7 hits, three runs, 2 of them earned, 4 Ks. I believe he gave up a leadoff home run that game, or Suarez hit a bomb. But after that, he was pretty much nails, just like he's always been. I say always, mostly has been the entire season. Right.
Man,
you just needed your offense.
I would agree.
To do some stuff. Chris, tell us how the scoring went on Monday.
Well, I mean, I didn't really watch most of the game on Monday. We were still out of town. But every now and then I would get a little alert saying that Brice Matthews did this, another alert that Brice Matthews did that. And I mean, I don't, want to take any type of credit but whatever. But I've been saying, call this guy up. If you're not going to give the at-bats to Shea Whitcomb, stop giving the at-bats to, at the time, Guillorme and Rogers. But hey, it was great to see him, kind of start to put it together. I mean, you saw that first series against the Rangers where, he had those 2 games where he struck out 7 times and basically looked like a rookie. Then you saw the first two games of the series, man, 3 home runs accounts for like 95% of the runs that we scored. And really, honestly, I mean, the game yesterday is where I was most impressed with him as of right now. I mean, so there was an at bat. I want to say it was runners on third and first, and I'm outside cutting the yard listening to the game, and I'm sitting here, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, Brice, don't try to hit a 7-run home run. Just hit the ball deep in the middle, get the run in. Because I know it's so tempted for these young kids now because all they care about is launch angles and exit velo. I miss the days of small ball, which again, surprisingly, the Astros actually played a good hand of small ball yesterday. But what does Brice Matthews do? He hits the ball deep into shortstop. Regardless of the shortstop fielded it cleanly. Even if Brice Matthews got thrown out at first, the run was going to score. Guys, that's what you call a productive out. Either you move the runner or you score the runner from third. You don't need to swing for the fence. You don't need to. I mean, because honestly, like to me, that at bat basically stunk of he's trying to kill the ball. He's going to swing it 3 pitches out of the zone. He's going to be 3 up, 3 down, and there goes that scoring opportunity. But he stayed within it, and fantastic. Like I said, so Brice Matthews, he gets a little bit of a massive kudos from me. Another guy I want to talk about as far as offensively that I've really hammered on how much this guy was terrible, but man, did this guy have some great at bats in this series, and that's Taylor Trammell. Holy moly, Taylor Trammell! Where did this eye and patience come from? There was like 2 or 3 at bats yesterday that this guy was down 0-2, and I'm thinking, here he goes, here comes another swing and miss. Fouls off 17 pitches, works a full count, and either gets out or works a walk. I was pretty amazed by the plate discipline and how he worked the counts. So that will be my verbiage for the offense. I still have one guy I want to give a shout out to, but I'll let you guys get your pieces in.
All right, I'll probably touch on the guy that you want to give the shout out to because it's going to be Christian Walker for me, man. He gets honorable mention for the series. I think that Brice Matthews obviously was the Arizona MVP, but Christian Walker stepped up in a huge way in this series. Now, keep in mind, I mean, he did play there for years and years and years, but at the same time, he took advantage of everything he knew about that ballpark, everything he knew about that pitching staff, and just took him to town the entire time. Brice Matthews shined the entire time, but it was Walker who was the honorable mention, and he was the Scotty Pippen for the entire series. So I got to give it to him on that. Other than that, just to touch on the first game, I mean, yeah, Matthews, hey, player of the game right there. And I'll let Chris put some love on him some more here in just a little bit. But I mean, dude was absolutely amazing. I mean, what was he, 2 for 4? How many home runs did he hit in the entire series, Chris?
He had 3 home runs, knocked in 8 ribbies.
5 of those in one game, Chris.
Yeah. So I'm going to say he accounted for the majority of the offense while we were there. But like I said, back to the first game, he had an absolutely phenomenal breakout game. It was all over, not just Astros Twitter, but it was all over MLB news and any baseball news that everybody follows nationwide. So that was really cool to see. And don't get me wrong, the Diamondbacks don't have the best record, obviously, but they're about 500, and they also have a pretty decent pitching staff. So I was kind of surprised to see, unfortunately, the guys that we've been playing or have been forced into the positions just step up and absolutely smash the ball. Like Chris was saying, it was Trammell, and then we had you name it. Who was it? Zach Short. We had him playing. We had McCormick came back. We had him playing. I mean, there was just guys all up and down the field. But anyway, it was good to see that first win, 6-3, and the guys played well. So, PK, what you got?
Yeah, so just to echo, right? It was the Brice Matthews series. You had 2 bombs on Monday. You had another bomb, on what was that? On Wednesday. Chris, your at bat that you're talking about on Wednesday. Sorry, on Wednesday's game, the last game, that at bat was phenomenal. And you're so right. It was so right. Not only did he have that at bat to get that the runners over, but to close the game out, he had a sharp ball to his left that he went down to start the double play to win the game. Right. So let's back up. So we talked about the small ball, right? Let's see, this was going to be on Wednesday. So you had let's see, we gave up the lead on Wednesday, I believe, late. And the reason we gave it up was, or part of it was because Bennett Sousa is not, it's been a little shaky here. But what we didn't do in the top of the 8th inning was do the sacrifice move the runner over. What the Diamondbacks did in the bottom half of that inning was what I posted on X, like are we against playing small ball, right? Because the Diamondbacks played small ball, they moved the runners over, then they get a single, they tie the game, right? This is Sousa blowing the lead. And so when you go back to the fundamentals of the game and you don't worry, and I know it's hard, Chris, you called it, when you're not worried about launch angle, exit velo, like you move the guys over to score position, and that puts the pressure on the pitcher to make a good pitch so that those runs don't get plated, right? But the whole series was the Brice Matthews series from Monday to Wednesday. I mean, the whole thing, offensively, defensively. But tell you another player that it kind of is, he's reminded me of John Singleton from last year, but a little bit more production, and that's Victor freaking Caratini. Like that dude, the dude hits. And I mean, the dude hits, and he had a good series. I mean, he's batting up in the 2-hole. He batted in 2-hole yesterday. The day before, he pinch hit late. The opening game, he's in the 3-hole. I mean, look, this lineup, these lineups that we have, these guys, you got Trammell batting leadoff on Wednesday. That just tells you where the state of this team was, right? And I think I tagged you guys on X when I saw the lineup, because someone asked the question, like, how many runs did the Astros score today? But what's so cool about it is these guys that shouldn't be up here, they're taking advantage of the opportunity they have to be up here, and they're being productive. Now, I know if you want to go back to Cleveland series, and if you want to go back to the Rangers series, we're singing a different song. We're frustrated, right? We're fans, right? We're frustrated with the offense. And you go into this series, and Briles, you hit it. The Diamondbacks pitching staff, at least the guys that we faced, like, they're really not punks. And when you look at the lineup that they run out there offensively, that's really not a punk lineup either. Now, they were 50-50 coming into the series. Now they're 50-53, right? But they've got a good staff, man. So regardless, end of the day, you get the sweep. Brandon Walter deserved to win on yesterday.
That was my third guy I was going to talk about.
So let's go ahead. Let me give you the stats, and then you go into it. So Walter went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned. 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Gave up a home run. Sosa blows the save, but he ends up getting a win. And I posted this. I think I posted this either last night or asked the question: when these pitchers start to come back from the injury list, like Javier and Melton are doing rehab games tonight, Walter and Gordon have not done anything to justify them being removed from the rotation. I don't think so at all. So we'll get into that.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I agree with you 1,000,000%. And like I said, that Walter run was the first pitch of the game. Ketel Marte took him deep. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was basically, he shut him down for 6 2/3 innings, or basically 7 innings.
No, 7 innings.
Yeah. So it's just crazy. Brandon Walter was pitching for the Red Sox 2 years ago, and I think he was a reliever. So he made his starting pitching debut with us when he first got called up. I agree with you. I mean, like, honestly, like, as of right now, looking at the stats and Brandon Walter's stats over the last 3 games, he's 0-2. He's pitched 19 innings, given up 4 earned runs in 19 innings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll take that every day. Has no wins. But honestly, like, I think he has the inside track over Colton Gordon right now. And Colton Gordon has given you really everything that you would want from a guy to, get called up. Basically being a Band-Aid. Him and Walter, are just like Band-Aids. So but Walter has been more than just a Band-Aid. He's been what Blanco was to the rotation last year. He's been what JP France was to the rotation in 2023. We spoke in spring training around that time, and we were discussing of who was going to be that guy that comes up out of nowhere that ends up being the backbone of this rotation. That's not Fromber or it's not Hunter Brown. And it's all I don't know why, but there's been a trend every single year of a guy we call up from AAA, and there's just a stalwart in the rotation. And right now, sorry, Colton Gordon, I roll with you, but right now it's Brandon Walter. I don't care if you get Javier and Garcia back tomorrow. I wouldn't pull Walter out of that rotation at all, period.
No, I totally agree with you on that. And I think the closest coming to back right now is Spencer Arrighetti. Last time I saw, he was doing some rehab assignments down in Corpus Christi. So hopefully we're going to be getting him back soon. But I totally agree. I think Walter's been the star of that step-up guy. I can't really complain about either one of them, though. I mean, I think our pitching staff, as much as we have just pieced this thing together as we've gone, it has been unbelievable. It has to be unbelievable if you look at our record. It's not like we're just playing punks every single day. We don't play the White Sox 17 times. We don't play.
Good. We don't play them good anyway.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. It's like we're not playing the like bottom barrel teams, especially over the last, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks. That schedule's been pretty tough. So I would definitely agree with you on that. It's going to be interesting to see what we do with the trade deadline. As far as the pitching staff is concerned, I know Dana Brown's already came out and said he wants to get a high-end starting pitcher. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that we've been rolling pretty well, but hey, listen, kudos and flowers to all these guys coming up from AAA that were prospects and now are actually stepping up and getting us wins. So
yeah, look, I like the rotation that we have. Sorry, I'm watching Costanza give up base hits. I like the starting rotation that we have, right? I agree with you, Briles. I'm not of the thinking of a top of the line starting pitcher, right? I think it's the bats that we need. That's where I'm at with that. Look, Chaz came back. He didn't really do much. He did lay out and catch a ball in center field, thinking it was 3 outs, and got up and kind of jogged. And it was really only 2 outs. Now, really, like Corbin Carroll's at third, so he really wasn't going to ever throw him out either. But it was kind of funny because it was a good catch, but he did laid out. He laid out. He laid out and got up and just started jogging in. But my point of it is, Chad hasn't done anything since 23, right? 23. That was his 20 home run season. Look, you're getting good at bats from Trammell, right? Like Chris, you brought up, I think Trammell's getting every game has gotten a little bit more comfortable, at the plate. Let's see, who else are we throwing out there? Trammell. Hummel needs to not ever pick up a bat in the major leagues, at least for us.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
And so here's what you have. You've got Jake Myers, who's still hurt, Altuve, who plays out in left. Now you have Brice Matthews at second, right? We talked about putting Altuve back at second full time, picking up a corner outfielder, right? But if Brice Matthews continues, maybe not to rake at the level that he's doing now, but enough for him to, stay up, then you're going to you would leave Altuve in left, but you still, Jordan's going to be coming back. There's so many, when this team is healthy, with Paredes at third and Pena at short, fill in the blank at second, Walker. I mean, I'm not going to turn down a Ryan O'Hearn trade. I wouldn't hurt my feelings. The Cedric Mullins one, I'm not a big fan of that. I think you're probably going to have to give up more than what I would do for him. He's not really having a great season, so I would lean more towards a bat than starting pitching if I'm looking at a trade. That's where I'm at.
I mean, really, you kind of have to look at, really what happens in the next week. And I know that's kind of like the most punk thing to say. I mean, because right now, I mean, like if Brice Matthews continues to do his thing, and let's say he gets the average consistently up, and let's just say 240, right? I mean, does he warrant getting sent back down? And again, the next question is how long is Paredes going to be out? Right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
still
It's a
has not
huge
been any
question mark.
of update. I mean, like, I mean, like what is it, like a pulled hammy or something like that, or something like that?
Yeah, but he
I
said
mean, but
he said it hurt worse this time than the first time he aggravated it. So that's not good.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
so that's not good. I mean, so there's potential a significant amount of time that Paredes is missing. If not, God forbid, he's out the rest of the season. So, I mean, I tend to agree with you guys as far as like I'm leaning more towards a bad, but it depends on what you can go get, right? Like, I feel like if you can swing a deal and you go get Sandy Alcantara, and he's the guy that you have under team control the rest of this year and next year. I mean, but I mean, like I said, the main thing is that you don't know if Fromber's going to resign. Is he gonna be good with resigning for the 5 year, the 5 years that we normally give, or is he gonna say that's a cool story, I'm gonna go somewhere else? Now you're left without I mean, you get Javier back, but you're left without that other stalwart in your rotation. Your 1-2 punch. Honestly, like, I mean, it really depends on what happens with, I think the big, I last time we were here, I said it was Brice Matthews who's kind of held the key to which road we were taking. I think now it's more Paredes, because if Paredes goes out, and let's say he's done for the season or done for 2 months, whatever, then what is your play? Is your play to go get you an outfielder and move Cam Smith to third base now that he's starting to look more and more comfortable in right field? Or do you kind of have a platoon between like Dubon and I know last season we saw Matthews when he first got called up. He split time at third base for the Space Cowboys. So really, honestly, like I feel like you can go get you a bat. I don't know, Browse, before we got on, you were talking about like Brian Reynolds. Yeah, that'd be a great bat to put in this lineup. But where's he going to play? Like, unless Brice Matthews gets sent down, which opens up second base to put Altuve in second base, then, and if you decide that you're not going to move Cam Smith to third base, then you're still a guy extra in the outfield. So, unless the play is to move Brice Matthews to third base. So, a lot of it is, once we find out more about what's going on with Paredes, I would assume that since I haven't heard anything, it's not good. But like I said, I mean, like I know before we went on, the word broke out that Jacob Melton and Javier are going to be pitching down in Sugarland over the weekend. So that's good. I mean, that's good to get back, a couple of good arms. I mean, like I said, my big thing, as long as they're not rushing Christian Javier, because your rotation has held the line. So there's no need to rush him back. I know the last time I looked, Arrighetti and I think Garcia are going to be pitching for Corpus Christi over this weekend as well. So you're about to get 3 starting pitchers back, that I would think maybe this finally moves McCullers to the bullpen. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting because like depending on who's available, again, we don't have the greatest of farm systems as far as prospects and stuff like that. But, like we still have guys that we could trade, guys that, we saw last year the trade for Kikuchi. But it's like I said, man, it's going to be interesting to see where they go because I feel like you have options. It's just a matter of where these guys are going to play.
Me personally, I mean, I think if you're going into the playoffs and you've got Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez as your 1 and 2, your 1-2 punch, the guys that we have right now and the guys that we've got coming back up, just like you were saying, and if Arrighetti can be the same Arrighetti that we had before he got injured, and I know he threw 4 innings down in Corpus, I think it was yesterday. It's if you have that 1, 2, 3 combined with the guys we've been using, I'm not worried about starting pitching at all. Even one of the guys I said we should go after earlier was Sandy Alcantara as well. And I was like, I at this point, I don't know if we should give up the amount of prospects or whatever Miami's going to want just to go get him. The one thing I will kind of disagree on is outfielders. It's like, I think we're heavy with good talent in pitching. And I understand we have number-wise a lot of outfielders right now, but I don't feel like that we have a lot of quality outfielders. So it's, if and it's all, I think, hinging on what happens with Jordan. Is Jordan coming back, or is he going to be out for the season? Because every time we hear something about Jordan, it's like, oh, he's coming back. Oh, no, wait, really something awful happened, and now he's not going to be back for another month. So I think at that point, then you put Altuve in the DH position, put Matthews at second, you move Cam back to third, and then you go get two good outfielders and hope that Jake Myers is going to be back to cover the center field. If not, you've got another couple guys with at least enough speed that can go out there and do it. We know Cam Smith does have enough of enough agility. He's got the ability to go out there and play right field anytime. So I think we've got a little bit of leeway on that. But it's with Isaac Paredes saying that his hammy is hurt worse than it was the first time around, with zero timetable on when he's coming back, and also with no timetable of Jordan coming back. I think the smartest move is to go get a couple outfielders and stop worrying about corner infielders and all this stuff. Those are going to be high price items. I think your outfielders are going to be the cheaper ones to get.
Well, I mean, the cheaper you're going to get is going to be if they're rentals. Sorry, go ahead, PK.
No, you're good. You're right. So I guess my question is, of the prospects that are up playing, of the prospects, the Astros prospects that are up playing for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they continue to, play well, pitch well, right? Whether they're ranked in the top 100 MLB prospects or like Brice Matthews. Like Brice Matthews he's our number one prospect because we brought up the other number one prospects, right? Yeah. So my question is like, if these guys that are, playing good for us but are still considered prospects, does their value increase by being up and playing now and producing? So that adds a trade. Now, look, y'all, before you answer, Chris, you know me, I'm not about rentals. I think it's terrible. I will say, like we've done it before. I understand get the ring, but the farm system, I'm always about the farm system and having a good system. So answer the question. What do you think, Chris? Does the production of these guys that are up now increase their value for a potential trade piece this in the next few weeks?
I would say maybe. Because, if I'm looking at a guy like, let's just say I'm interested in Brice Matthews, right? I'm seeing him work out the kinks with your team in hopes of, but then again, like for me to trade for Brice Matthews, I understand this is his rookie season. He's going to have his ups. He's going to have his downs. So like, I don't expect him to go A-Rod circa 1999 and hit 358 and hit 40 home runs. Right. But it's just, I want to see a progression from AAA to the majors. And and if he's showing that progression as far as like to where it's like, okay, maybe clearly he has things he needs to work on as far as offensively, stuff like that. But does he look overmatched is my number one thing. And if he looks completely overmatched, then, he doesn't, and it's dependent on what I need. Like if I need a young guy and if I'm trading you guys all-star shortstop, am I comfortable with Brice Matthews being plugged in and being my everyday shortstop? I would think as of right now, yeah. I would, depending on who I'm giving up. But I really don't think whether them playing a week, 2 weeks in the majors, if that's really going to like affect with their value. Their value has pretty much already been set, and you can either go up or it can either go down. So I don't think a week in the majors is gonna skyrocket his value.
Okay, what about Colton Gordon then? He's had pretty much the whole season.
Yeah, I would say his value absolutely went up. Now, is he going to cost you what? Which it still kind of blows my mind what the Sandy Alcantara package is going to cost you. Probably not. But again, he's a young guy. The main thing that makes these guys valuable is their team control.
Yeah,
like their stats. It's like it's like 60-40. Their stats are like 40, but their team control is like 60. So if I'm a guy who's got a player and I need a young guy to just throw in, in my rotation, if I'm like, if I'm the Pirates, right? Absolutely, Colton Gordon is very attractive. He's only 26. He probably, he's going to have another 4 or 5 years of team control. So yeah, absolutely. So it may be a little bit different with Brandon Walter because he's 28, but like, yes, Colton Gordon has made himself a hell of a lot more valuable as a trade asset than probably Brice Matthews as of right now.
Yeah.
Plus he's a pitcher. So
and a lefty. And lefty pitchers, you don't have to always go hard. Look at Jamie Moyer. That dude pitched till he was 47 or 48 and threw like 86.
Rich Hill just made a start too. Rich Hill just made a start too, and he's like 106.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's get into Sacramento, Las Vegas, North California series. Right now, we are down 1-0 in the fourth. Here is the rotations. Go ahead.
All right, bro, take us away.
All right, Thursday, we've got Jason Alexander 1-0. That's today with an 8.4 ERA. PK already touched on that a little bit. Against Sevy, 3-11 with a 5.10 ERA. Friday, our favorite pitcher, TBD, against Springs, 8-7, 4.18 ERA. Saturday, the killer Hunter Brown, 9-4, 2.57 ERA against Lopez, 3-6 with a 4.6. And then Sunday, to send us away, we've got Gordon, who we've been talking about the whole time, at 4-2 with a 4.5 ERA against Ginn. I am not familiar with him. 1-2 with a 4.5 ERA.
Yeah, so Ginn, he came over in the trade with the Dodgers. I think his name is TJ Ginn. I mean, my thing is that, again, right now, if they had half the offense if they were at half strength with the offense, I would say this would be easy 3-1 series with the way the pitching's been. I mean, but what's the score right now? Cheat a little bit.
1-0, top 4. Ace.
Screw it. I have got to catch up with this gap because here's the gap right here. Here's the gap. I've got to catch up. I'm gonna go 3-1 Astros. I'm gonna play homer ball. 3-1 Astros.
Yeah, I too am gonna play homer ball. A 4-game sweep, it's just tough. I mean, it just is, right? You just never know what's gonna happen. Also, the Astros they are, I think, third solo with like 29 or 30 come from behind wins this season, right? So I'm going to play homer ball and go 3-1. I think Hunter Brown's going to have a bounce back. I mean, because he only pitched, I think, 4 innings in his last outing. So I will take 3-1.
All right, did we lose Riles? All right, so he's fixing his headphones.
He's going to take a sweep.
He's going to go. I'm going to take the Astros 5-0.
5-0
sweep.
It's like not the score, Riles.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's just,
guys. I'm sure you can hear me. I lost.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Hello. All right. So anyway, it's just, it's just like Oakland always plays us tough. I don't know what it is about this team. It doesn't matter if they're a good team or they're right in the middle of a rebuild. They always play us tough. I don't understand why, but they do.
It's like the White Sox. It's like we should never be playing down to them. It's just we always struggle. Yeah. All right, Bryce going 3-1.
Says 3-1. Golly, man, I can't catch that. Nothing on nobody.
Sign language for him.
Telling you.
Well, cool.
I swear.
3-1 across the board. No one's going to pick up any ground. But hey, we just got to continue our lead in the division. Chris, let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
Hope you guys have a great weekend. Astros 4 games against the A's going on right now. We'll have bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 4th for Oakland. Not good for Costanza. Well, inning ending double play. Attaboy.
There you go.
Walker.
And now I can
Walker
finally hear you guys again.
Walker couldn't field the ball at first. 2-0.
Oh,
2-0
Walker.
But hey, hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back on Sunday for the weekend wrap up, as we always are. Until then,
The big trade one.
Until then, this is the Juicebox Heroes, and I'm PK. That's Chris. That's Brice.
And we'll see you guys later.
It was a short hop to Walker, but he still should have had it.